Vatican Museums, during the season of Lent, is offering a special tour highlighting key works about the death and resurrection of Jesus Christ. Sister Emanuela Edwards, head of the Educational Activities Office, gives us a sample of the itinerary, beginning at the Pious Christian Museum.
We decided to start our Lenten tour here so that we could, if you like, learn from the early Christians. Before us we have the sarcophagus, which is unique in many ways. It's the Anastasis, the sarcophagus of the resurrection, which is surrounded initially by scenes of the Lord's Passion. So we start off here with Pilate, who condemns Christ to death and is about to wash his hands of the Lord. On the other side, we can see how the story develops. The Lord is then crowned with thorns, and then he finds Simon of Cyrene, who helps to carry his cross. But the central portion is the central mystery of our faith, the Lord's death and resurrection. We have the key row. This is the symbol of Christ, his first two initials in Greek, and you can see he's with a crown because he comes to his glory in his resurrection. True to the biblical account, we even see the soldiers who slept while the Lord rose because they were unable. No power on earth could stop the Lord's resurrection. Before we move on, there's a wonderful opportunity to see this magnificent sarcophagus, which in a way summarises the story of St. Peter. And as we know, St. Peter denied the Lord, not once but 3 times. What's interesting in this scene though, it's a scene of hope, because typically in these sarcophaguses we see the cockerel at Peter's feet, because the cock crowing is the conscience that isn't happy, saying that you're doing something wrong. We see the cockerel instead in the tree, with Christ looking at the cockerel, and vice versa. And so in this sense, the cockerel becomes not the conscience who warns St. Peter, but instead a symbol of the resurrection. The early Christians found the image of the cross so terrible, they used Old Testament stories to mean the Lord's death and resurrection. And one of those is Daniel, who goes into the lion's den and emerges days later as if from a tomb. And his hands spread wide as if praying, also spread wide as if on the cross.
The other prominent location on the Lenten tour is the Pinacoteca, the picture gallery, where among the works we make a stop at the Entombment of Christ by Caravaggio.
We can't imagine a more difficult moment than the moment when Christ's body is being placed dead on the stone. And in fact, if you look, you can see the stone reaches out towards us. In many places in the scriptures we read, the stone that the builders rejected has become the cornerstone. And our Lord couldn't have been more rejected than this moment when he's being placed dead in the tomb. Nicodemus, he looks out to the viewer, and this creates a particular effect. It says to us what all the fathers of the church have always taught. There isn't a person alive for who the Lord didn't die. Nicodemus, look, says to us, he died for you. Looking further at the masterpiece, we can see the 3 women who remained at the foot of the cross. Mary, his mother, Mary Magdalene, and Mary of Clopas. Mary Magdalene wipes her eyes with the tears. And Mary of Clopas, her arms raised in terror or even in hope. The early Christians prayed in this way. Perhaps in this moment she prays to God, a sign of hope, looking towards the resurrection. And so a Lenten visit to the Vatican Museums is to ponder this moment, to take some time aside from our normal lives, to enter the world of beautiful masterpieces, and to allow these masterpieces to speak as the Gospels speak, to call us to have faith.